In this lesson, we're going to cover SD-WANs and SASE. Now, as our organizations become increasingly more reliant on the cloud-based applications that are used by our geographically distributed workforces, this has led to an increased demand for agile, secure, and efficient network infrastructure to be created quickly. Now, a software-defined wide area network, or SD-WAN, is a virtualized approach to managing and optimizing wide area network connections to effectively route traffic between remote sites, data centers, and cloud environments. The Secure Access Service Edge Framework, or SASE, on the other hand, is used to consolidate numerous networking and security functions into a single cloud-native service to ensure that secure and seamless access for end users can be achieved regardless of their actual physical location. Together, SD-WAN and SASE represent a big innovation in our network and security architectures, so we're going to take some time to cover both of them in this lesson. Now, first, let's talk about SD-WAN, or Software-Defined Wide Area Networking. Now, an SD-WAN is a virtual WAN architecture that allows enterprises to leverage any combination of transport services to securely connect users to their applications. An SD-WAN is essentially a software-based wide area network architecture with all of the control extracted from the underlying hardware. So instead of configuring specific infrastructure to handle our application traffic using something like MPLS, we can actually manage an SD-WAN entirely inside of our software, plus we can layer it over multiple types of network transport. This means we can really use any of our other WAN connections that we want to, things like MPLS, a cellular connection, a microwave link, or a regular broadband internet service like a cable modem, in order to create a virtual wide area network architecture that we can then run our networks over. To create an SD-WAN, you can use a centralized control function to securely and intelligently redirect the traffic across the WAN. Our traditional WANs, which were never developed with the idea of integrating cloud services into our enterprise networks, simply aren't able to do this. But instead, we can use an SD-WAN because they're enabled for cloud-first enterprises to deliver amazing quality experiences for their end users. Let's consider a company that has several branch offices and one headquarters location. In our traditional WAN architectures, each of those branch offices would likely be connected back to the central office using a star topology. This would allow the headquarters to conduct advanced security on that traffic as it went through the branch offices to the headquarters and then out to the internet. This is great for security, sure, but it really does slow down the entire process for our end users at those branch offices, and it results in a poor user experience and loss of productivity. Now, unlike traditional architectures though, SD-WANs can solve this by using intelligence to identify the network applications that are being used by the end users and routing that data across the WAN to the right places. This allows your WAN environment to be much more dynamic and much more efficient by providing improvements in visibility, performance, and manageability of our enterprise WAN architectures from a single centralized point. So, if you're working at a large enterprise network and you have a lot of branch offices and they're all trying to move more and more into the cloud using things like IaaS and PaaS and SaaS, then you may need to use an SD-WAN to increase the performance for your end users and reduce the bottlenecks that were being caused by your traditional centralized WAN architectures. Next, we need to discuss the concept of SASE, or the Secure Access Service Edge. Now, the Secure Access Service Edge, or SASE, is a new type of network architecture that combines both the network security and wide area networks, or WAN capabilities, into a single solution. The Secure Access Service Edge is seen as a way to address the challenges of securing and connecting users and data that's being distributed across multiple locations, including things like branch offices, remote workers, and mobile users, as well as the cloud itself. A key aspect of SASE technology is that it's using software-defined networking, or SDN, to provide security and networking services from the cloud rather than from traditional hardware-based appliances. This allows us to have more flexibility, scalability, and cost efficiencies than using a traditional network solution. Now, Secure Access Service Edge, or SASE solutions, are typically going to include a wide variety of security services too. This includes things like firewalls, VPNs, Zero Trust Network Access, and Cloud Access Security Brokers, which are known as CASBs. Now, these are all going to be delivered through a common set of policy and management platforms because this allows us to achieve our networking goals in a much more efficient way. SASE is going to help to address the challenges of our modern distributed enterprises, which is increasingly composed of mobile, cloud-based, and multi-cloud applications and services, as well as a large number of users and devices which are constantly growing and moving into larger and more distinct locations. SASE is going to be used to provide a more secure and efficient way of connecting all of these users and their devices back to the applications and services that they want to use, regardless of the location or the type of device that they're actually using. Now, all the major cloud service providers, including Amazon Web Services, Microsoft Azure, and Google Cloud Platform, are all going to offer solutions that align with this concept of secure access service edge. But each of these do refer to them by different names or acronyms depending on the specific service or product that you're going to be referencing. For example, inside of Amazon Web Services, which is known as AWS, this service that's going to most closely align with SASE is known as a VPC, or Virtual Private Cloud. Now, a Virtual Private Cloud will provide a secure and flexible network infrastructure for your applications and data, and AWS's VPC enables us to be able to create virtual networks in the cloud and connect it to our on-premise data centers or other AWS services to achieve that SASE capability. Microsoft Azure actually has a lot of different services that align with this SASE concept, including Azure's Virtual WAN, which provides secure, global, and efficient connectivity between branch offices, data centers, and Azure resources, as well as Azure Express routes, which enable you to create a dedicated private connection between an Azure data center and your on-premise network infrastructure. Now, if you happen to be using GCP, which is the Google Cloud Platform, they actually call their SASE-aligned services the Google Cloud Interconnect. Google Cloud Interconnect allows you to connect your on-premise infrastructure to the Google Cloud Platform over a dedicated private connection. They also have a service known as the Google Cloud VPN, which allows you to securely connect your on-premise infrastructure back to your virtual private cloud network through an IPsec VPN tunnel. Now, it's important to realize that these services are not exclusively SASE providers, and the definition of SASE here is not completely aligned with all the features and functionality of any single cloud service from these cloud providers. But they do provide a lot of the aspects of SASE for you, such as having secure, flexible, and global networking capabilities by using these different services. So remember, as cyber threats evolve and our work environments become increasingly more geographically dispersed, understanding and implementing solutions like SD-WAN and SASE is going to be important for you to consider. These technologies aren't just about keeping pace with the digital transformation, but they're actually focused on anticipating the future, preparing for its challenges, and capitalizing on its potential opportunities. An SD-WAN, or a software-defined wide area network, is going to be a virtualized approach to managing and optimizing wide area network connections to efficiently route traffic between remote sites, data centers, and your cloud environment. The Secure Access Service Edge, or SASE, on the other hand, is a security framework that combines network security and wide area network capabilities in a single cloud-based service. By leveraging these tools, we're able to elevate our organizational security posture and continue to move forward in our security careers as we begin to migrate more heavily into cloud-based environments.